It started like any other love story, intense, passionate, and filled with promises. But behind closed doors, passion can turn to poison. This is the tragic tale of Claire and Daniel, a story of love, betrayal, and murder. Claire and Daniel met at a corporate retreat, their whirlwind romance leading to marriage within a year. Claire, a striking marketing executive, and Daniel, a powerful attorney, seemed like the perfect couple. But perfection is often a mask. The first 2 years were bliss. Lavish vacations, late-night conversations, stolen kisses under city lights. Claire and Daniel were inseparable, a picture-perfect couple. But love, even the strongest kind, can fade. By their 3rd year, the cracks began to show. Long hours. Cold silences. And then, temptation. Enter Ethan. A bartender with a rugged charm, Ethan gave Claire what Daniel no longer did. Their affair started with flirtatious texts, stolen glances, and soon, passionate nights at a motel. But Daniel wasn't a fool. He noticed the late nights, the distant stares. And when he hired a private investigator, what he uncovered sent him into a spiral of rage. One night, Daniel slid an envelope across the table. Photos. Proof. His voice, eerily calm, "I know." Claire's face drained of color. She begged for forgiveness, but Daniel had already made up his mind. If he couldn't have her, no one would. A message. A meeting at their lake house. Claire, guilt-ridden, went. But as she arrived, dread settled in her bones. The house, dark except for a dim light. Daniel, sitting with a glass of whiskey. A gun in his lap. "I loved you, Claire. I gave you everything. And you threw it away." Claire's breath hitched as she saw the cold steel of the gun tremble slightly in Daniel's grip. She raised her hands, pleading, her voice cracking under the weight of desperation. "Please, Daniel, don't do this." But his eyes were hollow, devoid of the love they once held. The gun's safety clicked off. A deafening gunshot rang through the room. Claire staggered backward, a scream caught in her throat as fiery pain erupted in her stomach. Her knees buckled, crashing against the cold wooden floor. Blood soaked through her blouse, pooling beneath her as she gasped for air, her fingers weakly pressing against the wound, trying to stop the inevitable. Daniel stepped forward, his face eerily calm as he knelt beside her. "You should have stayed faithful," he whispered. Her body convulsed, shivers racking her frame as darkness seeped into the edges of her vision. Another shot. This time, to the head. Silence fell over the lake house, save for the faint dripping of blood onto the floorboards. The next morning, Daniel played his role perfectly. The grieving husband. The desperate search for his missing wife. But secrets don't stay buried forever. After wiping down the lake house, he wrapped Claire's lifeless body in thick plastic, his hand steady despite the horror of what he had done. Under the cover of darkness, he loaded her into the trunk of his car, driving for hours to a remote forest miles away. Digging was slow, each stroke of the shovel a cruel reminder of his irreversible actions. By the time the sun threatened to rise, Claire was 6 feet under, swallowed by the earth. Daniel burned her clothes, disposed of the gun in a deep river, and meticulously cleaned every trace of evidence. He created an airtight alibi, ensuring that no suspicion fell upon him. He cried on command, made frantic calls to the police, and held press conferences pleading for Claire's safe return. But guilt is a slow poison. Months passed, then years. No one found Claire. But Daniel was never free. He left behind his former life, retreating to the solitude of foreign countries, where no one knew his name. Yet, every quiet night, he heard her voice. Every reflection in the mirror revealed her blood-streaked face. The past never lets go. Daniel may have escaped the law, but he could never escape himself. Despite suspicions, there was never enough evidence to tie Daniel to Claire's disappearance. Ethan, guilt-ridden, struggled to convince the authorities, but without a body or concrete proof, Daniel remained untouchable. The lake house was scrubbed clean. The alibi was airtight. No bloodstains, no confession, just a man who had lost his wife to a tragic mystery. And so, life moved on, but the shadows never left Daniel. What started as love had ended in blood, betrayal, and ruin. And Daniel, once a man with everything, now sits alone, haunted by the ghost of the woman he swore to love forever. Like and subscribe for more true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe, and trust no one.